Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignertechtips.com. We got a great one for you today. We've got a little button down here when I hover over it. It's going to have a little colour fade in from the left hand side to the right hand side. When you take your mouse off, it's going to disappear back there. You see this quite a lot on sites nowadays. It seems to be in vogue. We used to do this years ago, but it seems to have come back into fashion. Really nice little feature, really easy to do. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the visual builder. Once enabled, let's roll down to where we want to work. I'll just add another module under this little call to action here. A little dark button to add a new module. Now, funnily enough, I'm not going to use a button for this today. I'm just going to use a regular text module and turn it into a button. Seems to work better for me this way. So I'm going to hit the text. There it is. Put in whatever you want your button to say. Down below, obviously, you need to link your button to wherever it is you want to take your people. I just put a hashtag in there. I've got no real link. Always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off-site, open it in a new tab. That way your site's going to stay open. Now, background-wise, you can put a gradient in, color, image if you want to. I'm just going to put a simple blue color in like I did for that button. This is the initial color of your button. For instance, our one over here has got that same color. Like I say, choose your color, gradient, image, whatever you want to do with yours. I'm going to keep this fairly simple today. Okay, well, let's go over to our design now. The text, I'm going to want to make that white so we can see it, or at least a lighter color. There it is, fantastic. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I think that'll do. I think that's what I used on my last one. Letter spacing and line height are absolutely fine. You could actually define the height of the button with the line height if you wanted to. By doing it like that, I'm actually going to use padding for mine. And common to all Divi modules, if you do something you don't like, you can simply delete it just like that. And I'm going to want my text in the middle of my button. Fantastic. Okay, well, let's roll down the sizing. If you want your button to be full width of whatever column it's in, then you can leave it just like it is. I want mine to be less than that. I think I use 150 pixels on that one. So if we go into sizing, we can go into width and type in whatever size you want, 150px. Make sure you put the px on the end. If you don't, it's going to put in a percentage, which probably won't work as well. And I want it in the middle of whatever column it's sitting in. Fantastic. Well, let's roll on down a little bit more now. And we got spacing there. I'm just going to add a bit of padding top and bottom. Make it look more like a button. I'm just using 10 pixels. I'm going to hit the chain so it does the bottom as well. Great. Now, if you want a square button, you can leave it just like that. If you want it slightly rounded corners, we go into our border at the bottom. Make sure that your little chain icon's checked there. It is usually by default. I'm going to put in 10 pix. Maybe a little bit too much. Yeah. Or about 6 pix. The higher the value, the more rounded the corners. I think 6 pix is what a Divi button usually is. Now, if you want a pill-shaped button, up that amount to, say, 50. And you'll have a pill-shaped button like that. I'm going to leave mine around about 6 pix. I think that works for me. Obviously, adjust yours to taste. If you want to put a border around, you can do. I'm going to leave mine just as it is, as a simple coloured button. But if you want to put a border in there, you can do so by just adding a border here. Okay, well, we've got the general build of our button right there, which is fantastic. Now we want to add that little animation. We've got to write a bit of CSS code for this today. Don't let that put you off. It's really easy, and I'll take you through it all. I'm going to go over to my Advanced tab, down to my Custom CSS. I'm going to hit the Module Elements tab. And in the before, we need to start writing some code. Well, what I want is a sort of color that comes in from the left there. So I'm going to say content because we've got to tell it that we're going to put some content in there. So the word content, I'm going to open and close some inverted commas. Now, if you watch my video the other day about icon to text on a button, you'll know what I'm going to do here. I'm not actually going to put any content in there. So let's put a semicolon on there. We want to position whatever we're putting in there absolutely. So I'm going to say position, absolute. And always put a semicolon. If you don't, it won't read the next line of text. Okay, we haven't really told it what we want to put in there, but whatever it is I'm putting in there, which is going to be this background, I want it to start at top left. So I'm going to say top, colon, 0. And left, this is going to be a bit crazy. You'll see what's going on in a moment when I actually put the color in that you can see here. I'm going to take the content and move it 100% left initially. And then when we hover over, we'll bring it back to create the sliding effect. So if we say left, colon, negative 100%, and this will become apparent when you see what's going on here. And I want it to be the same width and height as our button. So I'm going to say width, 100%, and height, 100%. And I know you can't see anything. Let's change that. I'm going to say background, dash color, and let's just call it red. You can put any hex code or RGBA in there you want. Now I know you still can't see anything because it's way over here. Let's go up to where it says before and hover over the icons there. If you can't see them, just hover over the dark writing there. This is common to all Divi modules. We can set a hover state, even in this CSS here, by going to the little arrow icon. Desktop's when the mouse is not on it. Hover, obviously, is when the mouse is on it. And I want to bring that left back to a regular space there. So I'm going to say left, colon, 0. As you can see, that's turned red now. Working absolutely perfectly. But it's going to happen absolutely instantly. As soon as they put the mouse on it, it's going to instantly change to red. I want to slow it down for a bit of grace so they can actually see it fading up. So at the moment, it's just turning red, and we could have done that with a background hover effect. So to make it more graceful so you can actually see it happen, I'm going to give it a transition. And I want it to affect the left element, so I'm going to say left. Now I'm going to make mine 0.3 seconds, 0.3s, and I want it to ease in. So now when I do that, you can see it slide in. And if you want to slow it down even more, just up that value to maybe half a second, 0.5, and it'll be even more graceful. Great. Well, if we've done everything correctly, this should actually work for us now. Let's save our changes here. We'll go down the bottom. We'll save the page changes, save draft or publish if you're ready. And let's exit the Visual Builder. We'll roll on down to where we were working. Here's our first button. I think I've got that on 0.3 maybe. Here's our second one. Slightly slower there, 0.5 of a second. Like I say, that's a really nice little feature. And there's a couple of ways of doing this. If you want to use this on buttons throughout your site, you can just duplicate it if you're on the same page, or you can save it to the library and just load it onto any page, or you can actually save this as a preset, as I showed you in our last video, and just call it up whenever you want to. Like I say, that's a really eye-catching thing to have on your site. People are mousing around and that sort of thing happens. It's going to get their attention pretty quickly, which is exactly what you want with a website. So just to demonstrate that for anybody that didn't see yesterday's video, let's re-enable the Visual Builder. We'll roll on down. Like I say, if you want to reuse it, you can save it to your library. And the reason we're seeing that red there is because of the overflow from our button here. On the back end, you won't see that on the front end. Save it to your library. You can hit this little icon, give it a name, save it to your library with that. And when you add a new module, You can choose Add from Library. Of course, we can duplicate it if we're on the same page, 2 little squares there, and just drag the other one over. Just hit the duplicate, drag the one you want over there. But as in yesterday's video, if you want to, we can go in here, we can save this as a preset. For preset, create new preset from current styles. Call it slide BG for slide background. Hit the little green check mark to save it. Now we can get out of here. When you add your new module, you can add, it's got to be a text module. Remember, we use the text module, not a button. We'll hit the text module, go up to preset, slide background, and it's got it in there. Obviously, you'll have to change your text. A little bit too much for a button there. That'll work fine. As easy as that, and that's a really good way of speeding up your workflow. Great. So I hope you've enjoyed this and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you enjoyed using CSS today, have a look at our simple CSS playlist. It should pop up on the left-hand side there in a moment. We've got plenty of examples like this. Most of it, I've got the code pre-written for you. You can copy and paste if you want to. I will put this code down below, but it is a great idea to get in the habit of writing CSS code. It's a wonderful thing to learn. It's easy and you can't break your site with it. If you do something you don't like, just simply select it, delete it, it'll go back to how it was. So once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.